Good evening, everybody. Welcome to rounds 13 and 14 of the Chazlington Touring Car Championship from Tsukuba. We're using the 1000 layout here tonight, which is possibly the shortest track on the calendar. We're looking at lap times around 34 seconds for some of the fastest guys here. And just going to get into qualifying any second now. So far in practice, it's been the return of John Robertson that has meant that Jake Blackhall hasn't got it all his own way tonight. Drivers now just heading out in qualifying for the first time. Ben Palmer is going to be the first car out on track. Here he is in the Ford Fiesta. We've got a 10-car field tonight at the moment. Also behind him there is John Roberts, Ashley Blake Hood, Matt Draycott and Niall Crowther are out for the Superior in Proelia team. And this is a very, very small circuit. Jake Blackhall out on track, of course, but here is the man to beat tonight by the look of it, John Robertson in the Evolution Racing Team Subaru. He's on his slow out lap at the moment. Ben Palmer does a 36.75. That's just an out lap, of course. But what we'll do is, we'll go on board with John Robertson, just to show you how short and sweet a lap is here. Good evening, everybody, if you are watching. Hopefully we'll see some communicate in the chat. And here goes John Robertson on a lap. So it's a very short front straight into a long double apex right-hander. A lot of the corners here are double apexes. There's a huge runoff area on the left. Clips the apex on the right, slows it down into a hairpin. He's probably got an off track for that. It's a very tight first gear hairpin. Oh, I'll say first gear, he stays in second. Get on the power, don't let the car run out wide, and then it's another double apex hairpin here. Plenty of lock on tonight. The drivers are going to have to be really wary about the fact that there could be cars down the inside of them or next to them, and it's very difficult to see the apexes here. Into a quick left-right section, slow as you can get. He's making sure he gets a good run as he comes on to his second lap. Then there he goes. Rob Lundgren there, just coming out the pit lane behind him. And the number 9 Boosted Motorsport Subaru. Good to see Rob back out tonight. Currently Ben Palmer top of the pile, with Ashley Blake Hood in second. Niall Crowther third. Jake Blackhall fourth. Matt Draycott there going into fourth place now. Very short circuit, and I realised last time, I do apologise. Oh, John Robertson goes fastest. I was just about to apologise. The last qualifying session was 15 minutes long, and it shouldn't have been. It should have been 10 minutes, but I'm that much of a professional series runner, organiser, owner, whatever you want to call me, that I didn't realise. So, you know, I don't even know my own rules. Ben really trying to get that car hooked up to the exit. You can just see how tight this track is for them. They go so slowly. But because they want to get on the power as quick as they can on exit, they've just got to be so careful about the car running wide. Palmer now gives up on that lap. Tries the pit entrance. Very small pit lane here. As you can see, very thin. Luckily no damage, so if they hit the wall on the left, then there's not too much to worry about. There are going to be some what they call shared pit stalls, which means that some drivers will have sort of, well, ghost through each other. There's Ben on pit exit, on the power. Very fast Ford Fiesta. Rob Lundgren about to come across the line. Fourth at the moment. 35.989, does a 36.1 on that lap. He's run wide into turn 1. John Robertson at the top. Jake Blackhall is just 100th of a second behind him, and the 11,000ths. It's a very close competition. Jake has really got his work cut out tonight. As oh, there it goes, a 34.8. He goes 3/10 clear. Fantastic. Well, it's about a quarter of a second, but wow, amazing lap by Jake Blackhall. Incredible to see. He'll be very, very happy with that. And I think what I may even do is just catch this lap here. We'll see it live then. Well, this is, I say live, we'll see it from on board as Jake had it then. Oh, that's when he's quit the lap. So never mind, ignore me, I'm full of shit. He's still out on track, on an outlap now, going nice and slowly. Good to see the Superbia and Pro Elia cars out tonight. Niall Crowther and my brother Matt Draycott currently at the bottom of the pile, unfortunately, in the number 26 car. They qualified 5th and 6th on the grid at Jefferson. Great showing by those boys. John Roberts is out in the boosted motorsport car tonight. Ben Gregory is in the session apparently. You'll see that it just stops the camera here. He is in the session somewhere, but unfortunately not looking like he's on track. So not quite sure what's happening. Ashley Blake Hood is 5th at the moment, behind Rob Lundgren. Good qualifying from Lundgren, that. And someone that hasn't set a lap yet is Dan McAuley, also, who again is in the session. But not seemingly putting a lap together yet. You can just see the chaos unfolding as these boys drift around. Ash may have been blocked slightly there by John Roberts. Part of me is wondering whether Ben Gregory and Dan McAuley are waiting to start from the pit lane. I am also in the session as a driver because I'm an absolute twat and didn't join as a spectator. Interesting to see where John Roberts up to. Very slow outlap. Go on the nose cam. There's Ben Palmer on the left. You can feel the understeer in the car. Wants to get it turned in so much sooner, but can't. Needs to be careful on the grass on the left. You can see it get a little bit unsettled there. I'm not sure whether this will be very blurry or not, so I do apologise if it is. John Roberts there off on the left. Nice exit there by John Robertson. He's done personal best sectors. Not sure whether it's going to be enough for pole. Not quite. He does a personal best, but he's still 0.03 of a second off Jake Blackhall. Quite impressed by Rob Lundgren, to be fair. He's not been out in the car a lot recently, anyway, but doing a fine job all the same. I think the last time we saw him out would have been Tsukuba. No, not Tsukuba. This is Tsukuba. The other Japanese one, Okayama. What I will do, just to have a quick check with him. Dan, are you there? He isn't there. I've just tried to drag him in and have a quick chat with him, but yeah, he's not at his wheel at the moment by the look of it, so not quite sure what's happening. Matt Draycott's gone to 6th place ahead of Niall Crowther. John Roberts is now at the bottom of the pile. He's probably just having a bit of fun drifting them around, to be fair, is John. They are very enjoyable to drive. Oh, Dan McAuley has just popped out now, so here he is. Race 2 winner this season. And speaking of, here is the championship standings for you. So Jake Blackhall now a considerable lead of 227 points over Dan McAuley's 163. There is actually a mathematical chance of Jake Blackhall winning the championship tonight, but I don't think it's possible with the small grid. Ben Palmer is 3rd. Ben Gregory is 4th. Still no race win for Ben this season, and he's actually the highest placed driver that hasn't had a win. Jake Blackhall, of course, winning the last 6 races in the championship. Then it's Blake Hood and Sakovic, 5th and 6th for Team Mad. John Robertson in 7th, Josh Thompson 8th, John Roberts 9th, and Steve Burt rounds out your top 10. You can read the rest of them for yourselves there. Dan McAuley then, a 37.3 at the moment. He really isn't liking this Subaru at the moment. He's going to be going to a Fiesta if he does Season 2. He's already told me that. Fiesta does seem like the car to have, but John Robertson, though, is the guy proving him wrong at the moment. Really chucking that Subaru about. Hopefully Dan improves a little bit. He does. He goes to 6th with 36.1, just ahead of Draycott and Crowther. Wondering what Ben Gregory's plan is. I'm going to send him a quick message. See what the situation is. Ash Blake Hood and Rob Lundgren at the moment are the two that I'm very impressed by. 4th and 5th on the grid. Ben Palmer is apparently off the track. There he is. John Robertson still trying. There's personal bests coming in from Dan McAuley. He goes up to 5th place now with a 35.7 ahead of Blake Hood. Nice little drift there by Rob Lundgren. Hopefully we get a bit of communication in the chat, everyone. Please do say hello, I don't bite. I'll be checking the comments regularly to see if we've got anything going on. Rob Lundgren there completely sideways. Fantastic drift around the last corner all the same. Qualifying just coming to an end now then. So we'll see who is on a lap. Oh, well there's Ashley Blake Hood doing what he did in practice before actually. I do want to get a shot of this because it has been very entertaining. He did this a couple of times in practice and then just drove on the infield. So for entertainment purposes, here you go. Brilliant. Thanks very much, Ash. John Robertson is out on track. He's just crossed the line. I don't think it was enough for pole. It was not. It's the two Superbia in Proelia cars out on track at the moment. Matt Dracott's just crossed the line. Niall would have done the same as well. And that will be the end of qualifying. Not quite sure, again, like I say, what Ben Gregory's agenda is. But he comes up as 11th on the grid behind myself, so go me. So there's Jake Blackhall then, pole position, ahead of John Robertson. Great front row there. It's going to be a very, very strong battle between these boys. Then it's Ben Palmer and Rob Lundgren on row 2. Dan McAuley 5th, ahead of Ashley Blake Hood in 6th. And it's a Superbia in Proelia, 4th row of the grid with Matt Dracott just eking it out ahead of Niall Crowther. And it's John Roberts 9th. Apparently me 10th when I'm not there. And Ben Gregory isn't going to make the start by the look of it. So, wonder who. You can see the shape of the track there. It looks very basic from the map. But it really isn't. Just waiting for Ashley Blake Hood to take to the grid now. Ben Gregory said he was just sorting stuff out. He's missing race 1, unfortunately. But we're going to pop him in for race 2. So then, for the first time tonight, it's waiting for Ben Gregory to take to the grid, I think. Or me. But I'm clearly... I'm here. It's a very small grid, but either way, it looks like a good one. Nice liveries on these cars. Good to see the teammates on the 4th row of the grid. Any second now, then we should have some lights and a camera and some action. 3 Subarus tonight, 3 Beetles, 3 Fiestas. So a nice spread of cars in the field. Doesn't get much fairer than that. Come on. Here we go then. Finally. The lights come on for the first race tonight. Round 13 of the Chazlington Touring Car Championship. And they're away. Everyone gets a relatively decent launch by the look of it. Lundgren tries to come across on Palmer. McAuley's going to go down the inside. Oh, John Robertson's off. He's off at turn 1. I thought there might have been contact with Blackhall. Blackhall also slowed down as well, actually. He's lost a couple of spots. Oh, there's contact between Roberts and Blake Hood. Looks like Dan McAuley's around as well. He's off the track, comes back on. Lundgren into the side of him. He's hit Blackhall as well. They straighten up. Dan's going to get contact with John Robertson as well. It's all messy. Really messy stuff. Lundgren back in there as well. Matt Dracott up to 3rd place. What a start he's had. Lundgren hits McAuley again. McAuley's going to be fuming after this. But Lundgren has completely battered him round lap 1. But it's Ben Palmer leading the way then. Jake Blackhall somehow in 2nd place. Matt Dracott 3rd. John Robertson 4th. And it's Lundgren, Crowther, McAuley, Roberts. Oh, Blake Hood is, well, somehow on the infield and completely out of the way. Matt Dracott then on a podium at the moment ahead of Robertson. There's Niall Crowther in 6th, Dan McAuley behind him. Oh, Robertson's wide again. Really not sure what's happened to him there. We're going to have a quick look back at what happened with... I think it was Blake Hood here, actually. There's the contact with Lundgren. Oh! Roberts just loses it going into turn 1. And then, what happened with John Robertson here then? So he's chasing down Draycott. And he's just going slow. He's just letting... I think he's letting people through because of contact. So, nice sportsmanship by John. He's 4th at the moment behind Draycott. Then it's Dan McAuley in 5th. The only car that is where he started on the grid. Ben Palmer leading the way then, ahead of Jake Blackhall, his teammate. Matt Draycott in 3rd. 4 places gained, but he's got John Robertson right behind him. There is the gearbox cam. Ahead of John Robertson into turn 1. There's contact. He pushes Draycott off. I think Matt might have just broken a bit early for him there. You never know. John, obviously, very talented driver. You think he's like over 7,000 I rating in rallycross cars. There's Draycott's teammate Crowther forming up behind him. But McAuley is going to have the red mist now. He's gained 1 place from where he started. And now he's free of Rob Lundgren, who unfortunately has lost 3 places. So has actually Blake Hood. He's going to want to carry on. We're on lap 5, coming on to lap 6 for Ben Palmer. 2.5 minutes of the race already gone. Ashley Blake Hood just having a bit of fun really in this car. Look at it. He loves it. Nice bit of drifting around there. Just clips the wall, unfortunately, unsettles him. But yeah, Ben putting the pace in at the moment. Jake is 2nd. John Robertson in 3rd place now. Dan McAuley 4th. We've got the Superbia in Aprilia cars fighting together. We'll take a look back from Matt's car at his teammate Niall following him down. Look at the acceleration of these cars. It's fantastic. Hopefully iRacing's motion blur looking good. Oh, Draycott's off. He locks it up on the brakes. Just loses the back end. It's so easy to do in these cars. The momentum just takes you. Well, there it is. The front's locked. Bring the front end around. And there it goes. Rob Lundgren drifting past Niall Crowther. But Niall gets it back on the switchback. Rob on the handbrake again. Another switchback for Rob. Oh, Niall's run wide and he's lost the place completely there. Great scrapping by these boys, though. Nice tight and twisty circuit. Very difficult to get these cars around cleanly, of course, so the first couple of laps are always going to be an absolute mess. But John Robertson is making inroads into Jake Blackhall right now. No, not like that. Get your mind out the gutter. But Palmer leading the way then. This is for the final podium spot. Dan McAuley not too far behind either. Then Matt Draycott now chasing down John Roberts. Hoping to make up a bit more ground after that mistake a lap or so ago. Get some wheels on the grass. It's all about patience in these cars around here. Just got to be oh so careful. Oh, John's run wide. Matt tries to get it lit up. He's going to be down the inside. Oh, it doesn't make contact, but Draycott makes the move. Nicely done. Roberts giving him plenty of space there. Nice and respectful. Ashley Blake Hood has disappeared. John Roberts is in the pit lane. He'll be getting fuel. You can hear the revs building up. So there's your race leader. 8 laps down. Oh, just behind them. Blackhall is really under pressure from Robertson now. I think there might have been a bit of contact. John Robertson just coming out of the pit lane. This is the championship leader, who has won the last 6 races of the championship. For the first time here, looking under pressure a little bit. It's very quickly gonna... Yeah, Ashley Blake Hood has left the session, unfortunately. Maybe not quite getting on with the car. But this, look at John Robertson, the pace he carries through there. We'll go on board with him just so you can see how hard he's pushing to chase Jake Blackhall. You can see Ben Palmer off in the distance. Oh, he clipped Jake. He's turned him sideways and very respectfully waits for him again. It shows Jake is in the lead for a second there because he was on the infield for the next corner. Great stuff by John. Oh, down the inside, Dan McAuley. Jake Blackhall's run wide and having an issue. I think he's serving a slowdown penalty for cutting the course. Dan McAuley and John Robertson, though, elbows out. Dan just took a really opportunistic move there down the inside. Let's have a look. So he's thinking, stuff it. I don't care if you boys are slowing down and being all respectful and good sportsmanship. I'm having this. Sends it. And the next corner, is there going to be contact? Oh, just not quite. Great racing. And now Robertson is up to 2nd. Niall Crowther in 4th place. Draycott in 5th. Niall going a bit wide into turn 1. Rob Lundgren in 6th place there, just behind them. Jake Blackhall is now 7th. He hasn't pitted either, so must have had a monster of a slowdown. John Roberts has come into the pits again. I think he might have been serving a stop-go penalty, possibly. Dan McAuley in the pits in the Subaru as well, from 3rd place. I think it's a very, very slow pit lane here. So it might be some of these guys getting caught out by speeding penalties. Niall Crowther in the pits, misses his pit box slightly. Gets rolling out of the pit lane he goes. He's a lap ahead of John Roberts. John is a lap down now, unfortunately. He's your race leader, Jake Blackhall in the pits in the background. Now he did this at Jefferson last week. He pitted from last after being turned around early on in the race and came back to win the thing because he was in clear air. He managed to just get his head down and get the laps in. So, see how long Ben stays out for. John Robertson is 2nd. Here's Matt Draycott from 3rd place, going down the pit lane. Gets the car stopped. Oh, he's missed his box as well. Wow, by quite a long shot. What are you doing, Matt? That's going to cost him time. His teammate's gone through already. Niall now back up into 5th. Rob Lundgren is 4th. Drifting a lot. And there's John Roberts doing the same thing as well behind him. Oh, Rob has run wide. He's going to lose the spot to Crowther. Oh, he just loses it on the grass as he comes back on. Niall, great save. Gets out the corner well. John Roberts has just had an issue in the background as well. Down the inside there, Rob Lundgren, great move on the number 10. Dips a wheel on the grass on exit. Only 3 cars haven't pitted now. That is Rob Lundgren, John Robertson and Ben Palmer. And Ben is now coming up to lap these guys, so he's going to want them to get out of the way very quickly. And not have too much of a scrap in front of him to slow him down. You have to be very careful. Niall needs to be aware of who it is that's coming up behind him. Lundgren, oh, making contact into the hairpin. Ben's going to just go down the inside as he does. Very well navigated by Ben Palmer there to get through that without any issue. John Robertson now laps Niall Crowther. Are any of them going to pit? Not quite yet. We'll keep our eye on Jake Blackhall as well. Robertson now laps Rod Lundgren. Jake Blackhall here is actually chasing down Matt Draycott for position. Matt's in 6th. So he's actually nearly a lap ahead of Jake, unfortunately for him. There's so many cars going off track on the what we call the event viewer in my bottom right. John Roberts doing a lot of it. He's just having fun out there, is John. Still collecting points though, so he's not doing too bad badly in the championship. Lundgren in the pits. Dan McAuley is up to 3rd still. But it's this man who's got the work to do now. Jake Blackhall is behind him there, but that's a lap. So I'm not entirely sure that Jake will gain that back in the pits. I mean, the pit stops have only been like 8 seconds for most people. And Matt Draycott has passed Rob Lundgren as well now. So he's up to 5th. He's going to be chasing down his teammate Niall Crowther, you can see in the background. The 2 race leaders once again do not pit, but Robertson is starting to just eat into Ben Palmer's lead here. It's down to 1.3 seconds. Ben's looking a little bit unsettled in that car at the moment. He's getting a bit sideways going into corners. He's ripping the handbrake a bit to try and help him out, but I don't think it's working for him. On lap 18, look at the speed Robertson carries through there. It's just awesome. And he's starting to put Palmer under proper pressure now. He's closed a second on that lap. Ben did a 35.4. Sorry, 36.8. Robertson did a 35.7. Apparently Rob Lundgren is off the track, doing a bit of a drift. Dan McAuley goes through to lap him. Dan McAuley 3rd at the moment. Having a bit of an under-the-radar performance, as I've said about a few people. Lundgren absolutely lighting it up all over the place. But this is what the focus should be on, is the battle for the lead. Robertson in the pits then. Oh, he's across the grass. I don't know whether that has any bearing on anything. See where Dan McAuley is. Look at that. Look at the distance back to Dan now. I think Dan's got a slowdown penalty as well. Real shame for Dan. Look at the understeer. I was going to say look at the understeer. Look at the oversteer and Rob Lundgren chucking it around. Jake Blackhall is chasing him down. And it's John Roberts in 8th at the moment. Blake Hood out of the race, like I said before. Now here's John Robertson. Ben Palmer coming towards the end of the lap. You can see just how short the pit stops are. They're 5 seconds. So Ben needs to nail this. And oh, I really hope that wasn't something happening that I think it is. Nope, nope, we're back. We're okay. And just out in front of him comes Ben Palmer. I was hoping we didn't miss that. Might have a little bit of a dicky moment for the internet there. I've been having a couple of them recently. But Palmer still leads the race then. 2.5 minutes to go. He's ahead of John Robertson. But for how long? Ben going defensive here. We saw a great defensive drive from him in the mini challenge 2 weeks ago. To win 2 out of 2. In car 2. But John just looks so smooth in that car right now. Niall Crowther is, this is 4th place. This is how far back 4th place is. Dan McAuley is here in 3rd. Draycott's 5th. But sorry to stick with it too much, but these are the guys we need to watch. Go on board with John Robertson then as he chases down Ben Palmer for the race lead. In round 13 of the Chazlington Touring Car Championship. I think John's just going to bide his time here. He carries so much more speed than these guys through there and to the right. But there's nowhere to get the move done. It's painfully slow waiting for the car to turn in, especially in the Subaru. Dan McAuley will tell you all about that. Into turn 1. Runs wide. But he's going to get a good run on exit in comparison to Ben. Oh, he can't quite get it hooked up. Just over a minute to go now. Oh, apparently Rob Lundgren has crashed and stopped the car. He's still going. Obviously there's no damage. John Roberts is a lap down on him. I'd say maybe 2 more laps now. And Palmer is going defensive into turn 1. Niall Crowther nicely getting out of the way there. Oh, John tries to carry the momentum around the outside. Doesn't quite work for him. But look at the run he's got on exit. Great defensive display from Palmer here. He's putting the car in all the right places. John is very respectful in his attack. Not making contact. This is true racing between these guys. Lundgren is in front of them though. He's completely sideways and exuberant as ever, but it's not going to help Palmer. Oh, as Robertson blinks out for a second. He says he's out. No! He's not completely disconnected, so I'm hoping he pops back up, but Dan McAuley goes through. Past where he was. I mean, the one person that will be very grateful for that is Ben Palmer. Obviously all that pressure, but that's a real shame for John Robertson. I really do hope that, yeah, I was going to say, I hope it's an issue of mine and not his. Yeah, we've got massive issues here, as you can see. Should have it back any time now. There we go. Shitty internet, but Ben Palmer then wins race 1 of the night. Dan McAuley is going to come home in 2nd place. Very well done to the CQR boys. And Niall Crowther, eventually, there's Ben Palmer completely backwards. There's Lundgren completely sideways, as he has been. I do apologise for these internet issues, people. Keeping an eye on... Oh, Niall Crowther spun it on the exit of the hairpin. Lundgren goes around him, does a massive drift in front of him for the show, and then puts it in the wall. But for Superbia in Proelia, Niall Crowther takes a podium in the Chazlington Touring Car Championship. Very well done to Niall. Awesome stuff. Matt Draycott will finish in 4th place on a very good race 1 for the team. They'll be chuffed to bits with that. Jake Blackhall eventually coming home in 5th position. He's not actually on the track at the moment. So, for the first time this evening, there are your race results then. So Ben Palmer wins race 1. The first driver in 7 races to win a race other than Jake Blackhall. Dan McAuley finishes in 2nd, with Niall Crowther getting that great podium in 3rd. 1 lap down, just shows you how short this track is as John Roberts does a bit of jumping. Matt Draycott in 4th with Jake Blackhall in 5th. John Robertson is class 2 laps down in 6th. That may go as a finish, to be fair. I'll have to have a look and see what the other guys can think. Rob Lundgren 7th, John Roberts 8th, and a definite DNF for Ash Blake Hood, me, and Ben Gregory. I hope you enjoyed that one. I hope there are people in the chat. I've not seen any messages or anything come through so far. Sorry. I do apologise for the issues with the internet. But we're going to have race 2 in just a few moments' time. Going to get things set up, and we'll be back very soon. Don't go away. Oh, that's going to get me a fucking copyright strike if I've ever heard one. Also, I'd like to point out at this point, just on a reverse grid, I was going to commentate through it, it's full, so yeah. Just having discussions right now about John Robertson's position in that one. Obviously having a chat with Jake Blackhall as well, just to see if he's happy to classify John in 6th. Turns out that Jake got turned onto the infield and got a 36-second slowdown and then a 25-second end of race penalty for not serving it. John actually got disqualified at the end of the race for not serving a slowdown, but because he did finish behind Jake, we're thinking that possibly we can still let his result stand. We're just having a chat with Jake and just see what goes on. So yeah, we'll see very soon, but the second race will be with you in a few minutes' time. Okay, so the second session is about to launch, and we should be in there in just a few minutes' time. Thank you everyone for sticking around, it is much appreciated, and we guarantee that the next 15-minute race will be just as action-packed as that one. I'm a bit disappointed at the 0 comments so far. Come on. Get involved, everyone. Come on. Aha! Okay, I apologise everyone in chat. It wasn't connecting for me. So, yeah, I've not seen that. Hi Clyde. Hi Michael Avdoka. I do apologise. Did not see you there, guys. Turns out because of when I disconnected earlier, it did not reconnect to the chat, so that's my bad. Good evening, Beth. Sorry, Beth. And yes, Clyde, I'm a cock. Oh, we're having issues again with this session here. Right, apologies for this taking more time than it should, but I'm going to do another session because these guys, for some reason, cannot join. So we're going to have to just get something sorted about that. And I want to get these guys in the race because it's not fair to, you know, have them miss out. So we'll see what we can do. I appreciate this isn't the most entertaining thing to watch in the world. I do apologise. I'm trying to get this sorted as quickly as we can. Anyone that knows iRacing knows that it's never quick. It's never easy. So I will get it done as quickly as I can. I'll be back on in a few minutes. Well, hey, we've got it on now, so these guys are getting in. Thank God for that. The issues are with Matt Draycott and John Robertson. So I think what the issue is anyone that doesn't know iRacing, when we have nights like this and you have more than one race in an evening, you can set up a normal race, a hosted race for people to join in, and then with the second one, when you base it on the results, you base the grid on the results of race 1, it seems to chuck it out for certain people, and it seems to be those that have joined the league after the season started. I'm not sure if anyone, I mean, no one watching is going to use that for any sort of feedback. Who the fuck am I talking to? But, you know, it's just one of those issues you have to try out. But, yeah, there we go. The boys are getting in now, and we'll be back on in a few minutes. What I'll quickly do is drag this guy in. Ben, you won again. Get in, lad. He's not talking to me. Either that or he's not there. He doesn't want to be interviewed, so we'll chuck him back in. There he goes. One person that I do really want to speak to, actually, is Niall Crowther. Niall, podium for you in that one. You'll be happy with that, won't you?
That was fantastic. I enjoyed that.
Looked like,
don't know how I got it.
Yeah, it just looked a bit messy, to be fair. It was a bit chaotic. Obviously, end of qualifying, it wasn't quite what you and Matt would have wanted, but was it just well, I suppose it was just a case of surviving, was it?
Yeah, it's just a case of just put your foot down, go around the track, try and keep it clean.
And that's definitely not what happened on lap 1, was it?
No.
No.
It don't know what even happened, and I just tried to wiggle my way through.
Yeah, it looked very, very messy. But, yeah, luckily, we've got the new session up now then. Are you able to get in? Are you in?
Yep, I'm just loading it in now. I'm on my way.
I'll tell you what, a good thing for me to do would be actually jump in as well.
That would help.
Well, all the best in the next one now, and we'll maybe speak to you in a bit.
Yep.
Cheers.
Hopefully.
Now Crowther there, Superbia in Aprilia. Just having a quick look at these. Let's see whether we can get in the session here, because there's 2. Okay. I think we've got everyone in. It's like trying to herd fog. Even with just this many people. Again, I do apologise for the issues, but... Yep, hashtag blame Chaz. Hi, Shifty. How are you? You're not going to believe this. I've not left the other session yet. So that's why it won't let me in the new one. Dickhead! Oh, here's a drop. Maybe the issue is, Clyde, that iRacing just knows that this league is a stupid idea and that should just can it immediately. Honestly, though, thank you everyone for watching so far. Been up to 10 viewers tonight, which is not too bad, I suppose, so pretty chuffed with that, thank you. And we'll make sure that we bring you an exciting second race, don't worry. Clyde, your message calling me a fucking knobhead has just come through. Thanks, mate. You have a way with words, darling. So just to mention as well, after tonight there are only 2 race meetings in the Chazlington Touring Car Championship remaining. after this one, it will be the 1st of July. The series will head to another Japanese circuit at Twin Ring Motegi using the West layout. And then the finale from Alton Park, Foster's layout, on the 5th of August. The dates are 4 weeks apart to coincide with the World GT Championship off weeks, which means that, you know, there's no overlap, and I'm not trying to steal people away from that. Not that anyone will want to leave that championship to come and race in this, because, let's face it, this is a stupid idea. So, you can hear the cars, and now you can see them. There is John Roberts on the grass. Nice little drift there. Jake Blackhall is flying through the last section there. 2 wheels. Just a little update as well. We've decided to keep the result of race 1 for John Robertson. He is going to be classified as 6th place in that race, so very well done to John. Shame about what happened, of course. The track being so short does give slowdown penalties quite harshly, it seems. So, yeah, sometimes it's a bit unavoidable. John Robertson doesn't seem to be here, though. Oh, he has connected, apparently, according to that, so, yeah. It's just not quite in the car yet. There he is. He's in now. Okay, so in a few minutes then, 2 minutes if that, we'll have the guys in. And Ben Gregory is in this race as well. He joins us for the 2nd race of the night in the TechSense Fitstyle Motorsport Fiesta. Very pretty livery on that car, the number 113 machine. There's Jake Blackhall taking out a cone in the background. Oh! There's my brother. At least he's going to land it. He lands it! Wonderful! Dan McAuley's just raised a very good point. I may have put Ben Gregory on pole here by reversing the order and with him being at the back. I tell you what, we're going to sort this very quickly. Ben, hello. Welcome. If you're there. Ben? Well, we can't hear him, unfortunately. But basically, Dan McAuley has raised the issue to me that despite Ben not taking part in race 1, he's going to have to start from the back of the grid, but in me doing the grid manually, I may have put him on pole. So, hopefully we'll have a word with him very quickly before everything begins. Nine cars for this 2nd race of the evening. I believe this is Ben coming back to his desk now. Yep, that's the door closing. So, here he comes. Mr. Gregory, if you're there. Please don't grid up, please don't grid up. Ben, if you're there, my friend, I'll need you to start from the pit lane if possible, please. He seems to have his microphone muted now. Brilliant.
Sorry. Yeah, I know.
Yep.
Sorry.
Okay. Yeah, I'll need you to start from the pit lane, mate. Just because I've been a dickhead and put you on pole, I do apologise. I had to do the grid manually to set up the 2nd session.
Yeah, that's right.
So here is the grid then. It's not Ben Gregory on pole, unfortunately. John Roberts is on pole alongside teammate Rob Lundgren. That's John Robertson, Jake Blackhall, Matt Draycott, Niall Crowther, Dan McAuley, and race winner from race 1, Ben Palmer, bringing up the rear of the field. Best of luck, Ben. Hopefully, hopefully you make it through.
Yeah, I'll try.
Cheers, mate.
See ya.
So there's a live show of the chaos. Here we go then for the second time tonight. Oh, John Robertson has jumped the start. He's hit John Roberts. No, what's he doing? John Roberts away. I don't know whether that's going to count as him getting a jump start or not. Jake Blackhall flies off the line, tries to go around the outside of Rob Lundgren. Doesn't quite work. He runs wide. Dan McAuley's down the inside of Matt Draycott there. Lundgren in second place. Crowther's going to try and go down the inside. Doesn't quite make it. Blackhall there in fourth. Dan McAuley behind. Matt Draycott's gone down a position as well. There is Ben Gregory making it up from the back now. John Roberts leads the way. Not quite sure where John Robertson has gone. I think it's because he's jumped the start. He's just canned it in, unfortunately. But John Roberts leads the way from Rob Lundgren. Niall Crowther is in third place. Ben Palmer, what a first lap. He's had 5 places gained. Nicely done. He's ahead of Matt Draycott. Then it's Ben Gregory. And Dan McAuley has had an issue here. Let's have a look. Oh, Jake goes down the inside. Oh, Dan clips Jake, turns him around, and then Ben Palmer pushes Dan around as well. Oh, it's a real shame. It seems that slowdown's an incident as John Roberts gets very high on 2 wheels. So does Niall Crowther. John Roberts has gone into the pit lane. I think he might have got a penalty for jumping the start, which means Rob Lundgren leads the way. This is a night of chaos and penalties, and Palmer's just had to slow down. Oh, it's madness. Ben Gregory's now up to 5th place in the race ahead of championship leader Jake Blackhall. But Rob Lundgren leads the race. Niall Crowther and Matt Draycott both on for a podium here for Superbia and Aprilia. But only 14 minutes left. Oh, and John Robertson has just apologised to John Roberts in the Discord chat. He says his brakes have given way, so he couldn't hold it on the brakes on the line, unfortunately. What a crazy, crazy start. And yeah, Shifty's got a point. It's a good thing Ben wasn't knocking one out when I dragged him in. But Ben Palmer now, 4th place, chasing down Matt Draycott. Matt Draycott's done a personal best on that lap. And this will just show you the pace difference here. Race 1 winner Ben Palmer, then first gear, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, down to 3rd, 2nd again. Oh, Matt's got sideways there, and that just shows you the pace difference. Look at it. Once you get the car hooked up, if you're not sliding, you're just going to absolutely go for it. 4 wheels off the ground there for Palmer. He's on an absolute mission now. He could be the 2nd driver ever to win both races on the night. Oh, actually, no. 3rd. I think Josh Thompson did it, didn't he? I don't even know about my own series. Jake Blackhall is 5th. He's now ahead of Ben Gregory. Let's have a quick look at how this happened. Oh, Jake just goes into the back of him, unfortunately. Trying to carry more speed through there. Oh, Ben's probably going to get a slowdown for that. Yep, there it is. That's a shame. Palmer up to 2nd now, ahead of Niall Crowther. We'll have a quick look back at how that happened. Is Niall going to get out of shape into the final corner? Oh, 2 wheels and he just runs wide. And it's easy pickings for Ben. Niall and Matt Draycott having a scrap there. John Roberts is in the pit lane. He had a nightmare in race 1 with pit lane speed penalties. I think he might have had the same issue again here by the look of it. There's race leader Rob Lundgren then. In a fine job for Boosted Motorsport at the moment. Ben Palmer 2nd, Niall Crowther 3rd, Matt Draycott 4th. Dan McAuley is chasing down Ben Gregory for 2 of the last spots in the field. The thing is for John Roberts, even though he may be a lap down now and at the back of the field, he's still always... Crowther and Draycott have had an issue. Oh, Crowther's got more issues now as McAuley turns him around. Let's have a look. Oh, Niall's sideways out of there. Matt avoids him and Jake Blackhall gets 2 places by sneaking through him just as Niall comes on. There's contact with Gregory and then contact with McAuley. Turns him around, I'm afraid. Matt Draycott comes into the pit lane. Hopefully he doesn't miss his pit box this time. Nope, he hasn't missed it this time. There is the battle for the lead. Lundgren in the number 9 car. It's absolute chaos out there on such a small track. We won't be doing this one again. Just can't keep up with it. Look at the speed Palmer's carrying through there. 2 wheels brilliantly controlled through there. He gained so much time despite being on 2 wheels and bouncing around. And in a matter of laps, Crowther and Draycott have gone from 3rd and 4th to 6th and 7th. And Palmer really putting the pressure on now. Jake Blackhall's not too far behind. You can just see him going around turn 1 in the background. Lundgren's a bit sideways. Palmer goes to go down the inside. Doesn't want to punt him down the inside there. He smashes onto the brakes there, locks up the fronts. Look at the pressure he's putting on. He's so close to the back of him. And an interesting thing to measure here is the fact that Matt Draycott, just ahead of them, is still putting the same pace. Palmer's down the inside. Oh, a little bit of contact. Still Lundgren in the lead. Good thing these things have got 4-wheel drive. Jake Blackhall is flashing around like I don't know what. Ben is sideways through there. Just can't find a way past Lundgren yet. He's going to have to do a typical Ben Palmer send down the inside, I think, at some point. But they're not really catching Draycott, to be fair, in front of them. Oh, Ben's on the grass now, and look at the amount of ground that you lose because of that. But look at the speed that he carries through there to gain it back. He's really got that nailed on 2 wheels through there. As he goes for the pit lane, he realises he's not going to get ahead like this. Jake Blackhall, his teammate, does the same. Here's Ben Gregory defending from Dan McAuley. Dan McAuley jumps in as well, so it's a CQR Club pit lane party. Now Crowther goes through. There's John Roberts just behind Ben Palmer now. Matt Draycott still just ahead of race leader Rob Lundgren on track, but Crowther's now up to 4th. And that is him chasing Blackhall for position. But interestingly enough, Blackhall has absolutely nailed it in the pit lane and has jumped Ben Palmer. Gregory really needs to hold on to this 2nd place. He's done a great job to get up there at the moment. Oh, he goes across the grass into the pit lane. I'm not sure, as I said before, if that has any bearing on anything. Rob Lundgren in the pit lane now as well. So these guys going through. That's Jake Blackhall into the race lead as far as I know. I'm not sure whether... It says Jake's pit stop time though was 0, so I'm not really sure what's happened. It might have been a stop-go penalty or something. Niall Crowther's 2nd. Palmer 3rd. Niall is the only car not to have pitted at the moment. There you can see Jake having all sorts of connection issues. That may be why it shows that he's had a 0-second pit stop. Ben once again carries the speed through there, gets it hooked up and off he goes. Niall Crowther jumps into the pit lane then. Here's his teammate Matt. They were together on track before. Matt's a bit further down now by the look of it. Personal best for John Roberts in 8th place. Dan McAuley's up to 3rd. Doing a fine job at the moment. Yeah, Matt's nowhere near Niall, unfortunately, on track. Niall 7 seconds up the road. Ben Gregory's out of the pit lane now. In 5th place. He's going to be chasing down Rob Lundgren in the boosted motorsport car. There's McAuley in 3rd. In the Subaru. It's these boys once again, Jake Blackhall and Ben Palmer leading the race as they did at Brands Hatch in round 1. At this point now, it's just going to be a case of seeing if Jake pits or not. That's all it's going to come down to. Whether he's had a stop-go or something, or whether he's just not pitted, or you never know. He did go into the pit lane, definitely. And yeah, I like that, Christian. He's not lagging, he's moving in style. Ben has absolutely got that little bit of the track nailed there. Look at the pace that he carries through it. From Rob Lundgren's perspective, Ben Gregory is getting closer and closer. Bit of a lonely race for the 2 Superbia and Pro Elia cars now as well, unfortunately for them. But Niall Crowther would be very happy to get the team's first podium. In a league, anyway. These two have been doing very well on iRacing since Matt joined. Gave Niall the kick to get back into it. And they've been winning races together in the official series. And there's Jake Blackhall moving in style, as Christian Rose says. He's got his stealth cloak on. And there's Ben Palmer chasing him down. Oh, apparently Lundgren and Gregory have crashed. They've both apparently stopped on track. Don't know whether it's just because they've been going so slow in the hairpin or something. Oh yeah, they both go slow enough just so it thinks that they've crashed. And there is the gap now, ahead to Rob Lundgren. You can see the drivers just trying to be as smooth as possible then. Out of every single corner. Not getting on the power too much. Lundgren's gone wide. Gregory sees an opportunity. Backs out of it, going down the inside because of the overlap. Oh, he's a bit later on the brakes though. Oh, he hits Lundgren. Lundgren puts his foot down, saves it, makes a really stylish move out of it. Fair play to Gregory for backing out and letting him sort himself out. McAuley on the podium at the moment in the CQR Subaru. Make sure you get a good look at it because it's not going to be around next season, I can guarantee you that. Dan hates this car. But if he's the highest place finishing Subaru in the championship, then he'll be very happy with himself. Of course, the other one he would have to worry about is not around in this race anymore after that start line debacle. It's a real shame for John Roberts. Oh, as Lundgren and Gregory have, well, I don't know what sort of penalty Lundgren's going to get for that from iRacing itself. Oh, we've clicked into the session here. Brilliant. That's professional. Gregory goes through normally now, down the inside. Great shot of them there with the sun coming off them. Oh, contact into turn one. Draycott's apparently off as well. He's lost it in that chicane again. He's going to hate that bit of the track by now. Although Lundgren's trying to go back through on Gregory here. He's really fighting him. Proper scrap between the pair of them. I think that's pretty much it from that battle. As Crowther now actually is behind Lundgren for position there. So Rob really needs to keep his wits about him. As Niall's going to try and put the pressure on. Oh, bouncing across those curbs. 3 minutes of the race to go. Jake Blackhall is still the race leader. Apparently he's had 14 off tracks, but I think that's just because of the fact that his internet's chucking him around all over the place. You'll see on the left as well, it keeps promoting Ben Palmer to the race lead. And there's Draycott getting out of the way of Ben. Nice bit of a drift by Ben there. Nice reflective surface as well. iRacing's lighting doing its thing. There's McAuley going around turn one. He's got 12 seconds to Ben Gregory, who's just come out the final corner. Lundgren now is just over a second ahead of Crowther, so Niall can't quite keep the pressure on him at the moment. Oh, Lundgren's giving it a drift though. That's not going to help him for pace. Might work out at some of the hairpins, for example, but it's not ideal. There are some consonants in that word, I swear. Niall, though, really putting the pressure on. Go on board with him. You can see how careful he's going to be. Doesn't chuck it up the inside, but he's getting just as close as he can to the Subaru. But there's the difference that a wider line makes on the exit of a corner. See Lundgren going for it, locking up the right front. It's so easy to get on the throttle too early in these cars, and you can see how quickly they spread out. Lundgren on the handbrake. Niall keeps it tucked in nicely, but you can see again the different lines work. Lundgren may have been on the handbrake and sideways, but on exit he's already got his foot down, so he makes the run from it. Niall gets it hooked up a lot better there. To the last part of the circuit again. The end of lap 22 for these guys. Oh, Lundgren's hit the handbrake. That's not going to help him. Niall gives him a tap, straightens him up. Oh, there's going to be contact, and into the pit wall goes Niall Crowther. He was both pushing very hard there. Niall makes sure that he does a nice three-point turn out of the way of anybody. That's a real shame, that is, to be fair. We'll have a quick look back at it. So Lundgren made the mistake of pulling the handbrake into the final corner. Niall had no option other than go for it down the inside. He was on the brakes, tried to get into him, and then just as they wash out again, these cars do sort of float around left and right in a straight line as you get on the throttle, and it seemed that because of that contact, that's what turned Niall around into the wall. So Jake Blackhall is now stably moving on track with just over 30 seconds to go. This may be the last lap of the race. Not quite sure how he did that with that pit stop earlier, but there you go. Disposes of Rob Lundgren. Ben Palmer still in second. That isn't for position with Niall Crowther behind him. But there's Dan McAuley in third place. And it is going to be the final lap then. Jake Blackhall takes his 8th win of the championship. Very well deserved. Gets it from 5th on the grid. And for a tough race one, gets the job done. And a race win in a 2nd place. That's not going to go down too badly for Ben Palmer in the number 2 machine. Dan McAuley finishing 3rd, trying to put him in some sort of wall. And Ben Gregory goes for the style points at the end of the race. Wonderful drift by Ben, fantastic. Good recovery there to finish in 4th position. Lundgren will be 5th. Crowther and Draycott will be 6th and 7th. So for the 2nd and final time tonight, there are your results. Jake Blackhall takes the win. Another fantastic win for him, another 25 points. Just doesn't stop this boy. Only 2 race meetings to go. You've got to think that that championship may pretty much be his. Ben Palmer finishing in 2nd. Good night for him overall. Dan McAuley finishing 3rd. A track that was very, very tight and twisty. He'll be happy to have got that Subaru on the podium. You can just see some jumping in the background there. A very, very high jump. I think that was one of the Superbia cars. I'm pretty sure that was Matt. It would have been. That's Rob Lundgren then in 5th behind Ben Gregory in 4th. Niall Crowther and Matt Draycott 6th and 7th. John Roberts finished in 8th. And John Robertson is not classified after that issue on lap 1, unfortunately. So we've got to speak to him and have a quick chat with him and see what he says. Ben, are you there, mate? No, he really hates it being interviewed. Really does. We'll bring Dan McAuley in and have a chat with Dan. That was, I imagine that was a bit of a tough one, was it, Dan?
Yeah, definitely. Even just getting the car around the track, that was quite tough. Never mind trying to have a good race with people.
And 3rd place is not too bad of a result, is it? In that one?
No, not really. Managed to gain some points on Jake. Unfortunately, I had a bit of contact at the start, but I managed to win him back through and he carried on to win the race, so that made amends of that. But yeah, I think because of his bad result in race 1, caused a few points, so happy with that.
Yeah, it was, like you say, it was a tough one in race 1 for Jake, obviously with the penalties and stuff, but I think it's cemented this track as one that we probably won't use again. What do you reckon?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, well, at least there's been an agreement.
I think maybe Jefferson's the shortest we should go. This is just if we had go-karts in our racing, then yeah, but we've got rally cross cars that like to understeer, so
yeah,
maybe not the best.
No, not ideal at all. Well, 2 race meetings to go. Jake, especially after race 2, when he's looking a bit unbeatable at the moment, isn't he? Really?
Just a little bit, yeah. The only thing that seems to be able to let us beat him is he gets caught up in crashes that have got nothing to do with him. So I have to hope for a few more of them, but I can't see that happening, to be honest. He's probably going to walk away with it, I guess.
Well, only one way to find out, mate. But we're at Motegi West next week, where we had an absolute ball of a time with the CQR boys a while ago testing for this. So plenty of experience there.
Fun, yeah, should be quite good.
Yeah, better to go on a bigger track. But yeah, we'll see you next time round, mate. 4 weeks now, actually. 4 weeks.
Great.
Gutting. 4 weeks away from the Subaru for you, though, eh?
Yeah, that's
well-deserved break.
Hopefully it gets removed from our race in that time. Forced to drive the Fiesta.
Right, I'm going to chuck you back now.
Alright,
see
ciao.
you in a bit. And someone that I do want to speak to after tonight, actually, we'll drag them in, because they both did very well in the first race. Not so much in the second one, a bit of a tough one. Matt and Niall from Superbia in Proelia. That was a bit of a rough one, wasn't it, boys?
Yeah, not as good as the first one.
Sorry, I was just eating a hobnob. I knew that was going to happen. I knew it was going to happen.
How did you find that? We've just seen you actually overtake Ben Palmer down the inside and give him a bit of a shoulder barge, so that's on stream.
Yeah, you know. Can't do it in the real world, but can't do it in this one.
Did you feel that the track was shit?
Yes.
I didn't mind it, to be honest.
My left knee, I feel like I've got arthritis.
I didn't mind that, to be honest.
Yeah, it looked It looked interesting, like from a hot lap perspective as one car, but I think for racing it was maybe a bit too tight.
Yeah.
Well, the first race was good. Like they all stacked it, so I just went down the inside and I didn't get hit off at all. I feel like I got a little bit of a punt, but I didn't even look at it. So
Yeah.
Oh well, it's only a bit of fun, isn't it?
Indeed. Well, unfortunately, we're not at a free track next week. We're at Motegi, which is, however, it's pretty much a square. So it's a long straight, a double right-hander, and then it's a long straight and a chicane, and then you're back on the main straight again. So should be an easy one if you get it bought, which I'm sure you probably will because you're enjoying this, aren't
Get
you?
my wallet out.
Get you one.
Have to give it a little cheeky buy.
Are you enjoying the
What's it
series so
called?
far?
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
It's good.
Great fun.
It's good.
Good stuff. Well, get your wallet out, like you say, Niall, and we'll see you. Well, it's in 4 weeks now, the next round of the championship, so
Oh,
plenty of time
yeah.
to save up, get your pennies out.
What not doing
Get you
myself
what?
in that amount of
Get
time.
you out.
Pennies. Right, boys. We'll see you next time round. Yeah, good luck.
Yeah, see you then.
And I think we
okay.
we have to have a quick chat with him anyway. John, well, I say me. I'm gutted for you at that one, mate. That must have made you jump a bit.
Yeah, that was slightly unfortunate, wasn't it, really?
Yeah, a bit of a strange one. He's not had the best of nights as John Robertson. I mean, I won't lie, he's probably one of the cleanest racers and most respectful racers on iRacing, but he had a nightmare with just contact with people tonight, and he got disqualified from race 1 for not serving a slowdown or something. After he turned Jake around, he couldn't slow down enough, and then that happened. But was it still enjoyable, do you reckon? I mean, I know it's not the best track for it, but how did you find it overall?
So I turned up to practice tonight. I'd never driven this track before in my life. It's actually not bad once you get the hang of it. It just took me about 20 minutes to work out which way went where and what the cones meant and all that kind of rubbish. It's not bad.
Yeah, it's. I was just saying to Matt and Niall then that, like, from a hot lap perspective, there's one car. It's a barrel of laps to do, but when you're racing like side by side and trying to get moves done on people, it's not the easiest, is it?
No, it's an absolutely awesome drift track. It's absolutely great fun just to do massive four-wheel drifts everywhere, but it's just not very fast to do it.
Yeah, it's a bit of a tough one. I mean, it's one of those where you've got to try to judge it and try to try to make it work, but not that easy. We've got a 4-week break now until we're at Motegi at the West layout, which was a lot of fun when we tested it. So hopefully we can have a good laugh there. Do you reckon you'll be around for that one?
Oh yeah, I know that one from Forza.
Yeah.
Is it the big one? Is it the big one or the short one?
It's the front straight, turns 1 and 2, and then it's like a back straighty bit, and then a little chicane at the end.
Oh, the one at the back. Yeah, that used to be awesome fun in the hot hatches on Forza. So yeah, I'm well up for that one.
Good times. Well, we will see you in 4 weeks then, mate.
See you in 4 weeks. Have fun.
Nice one. Cheers. John Roberts there of Boosted Motorsport. Yeah, very interesting night tonight. It was certainly a different track to what we'd normally have. But one person that we need to keep an eye out on is this guy, Jake Blackhall. 8 wins this season now. Or 7, I think. No, that'll be his 8th. Yeah, because he won a race earlier on, then he got 6 in a row. And yeah, he's starting to look a little bit untouchable at the top of the standings. We'll have those updated and they'll be posted on the Chazlington Facebook page. Of course, don't forget to follow me on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter. Just search for Chazlington, you'll find me eventually. And hopefully, we'll see you all in 4 weeks' time. I do confirm, actually, sorry, that was Jake's 7th win of the championship. He got 6 in a row and they were the only ones he had. Yeah, we'll see you in 4 weeks' time at Motegi. Thanks for watching, as always. It is much appreciated, and hopefully this will continue for a while to come. So, from me, and of course from everyone else that would have been watching tonight and obviously taking part, good night.